Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session that was designed to help a client feel confident and composed and to deal with issues like imposter syndrome that they had just days into a new job. And I think a lot of people can feel this way. There is this idea that somehow they're going to get exposed or found out, or that people are going to realize that they're not up to the job. And that is a very valid and rational fear, because there is unknown variables. At the point when you start a brand new job, you don't really know the culture there, you don't really know the people there. There are lots of things that are kind of unknown and unknowable. So you have to put it down to those things that you do know. And what you probably do know if you're starting a new job is that they have some kind of HR and recruitment process. So it's unlikely that they're going to be randomly picking strangers to do jobs. Therefore, whatever process they went through, such as screening a CV, scheduling an interview, having a follow-on interview, having any tasks or challenges that led up to the final decision, all of this is them mitigating the risk on their side. And they've gone through that whole process, considered various candidates, and arrived at the conclusion that you are the best person for the job. So this hypnosis session is really designed to create a different feeling, and it's a feeling of calmness and confidence and deservingness. Imposter syndrome is at one end of a spectrum. So imposter syndrome says, I'm not cut out for this, I don't know what I'm doing. At the other end of the spectrum is something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And there are people that exist that have no idea what they're doing, but they act as if, and they walk and talk like they know exactly what they're doing. And unfortunately, that fools a few people, because in certain professions, acting like you know what you're doing can enable you to get away with actually kind of not doing it well. The ideal place to be on this spectrum is somewhere in the middle, accepting that you can't know everything, but you're willing to learn, and that there are ways to acquire that knowledge more quickly and efficiently. And part of that is in the organization itself. So building relationships, asking questions, asking for feedback, all of these things helps foster this environment where you get to learn whatever you need to learn, but equally you're projecting a feeling of confidence and being at ease. For people that have full-on imposter syndrome, their belief system would be, well, if I ask for feedback or help, they're going to think I don't know what I'm doing. And actually, it's the opposite that tends to be the case. If you ask for assistance, most people would evaluate that as someone that is thorough, wants to do a job properly, and wants to pick the brains that have been there perhaps longer in that particular role. If you are struggling with, let's say, confidence or optimism, or maybe even imposter syndrome, there is a link in the show notes that you can schedule a free consultation call with me. But you might find that this session, although it was created for someone else, might actually be quite helpful and useful for you. In which case, find a comfortable place where you're unlikely to be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of worry, stress or tension to feel like it's leaving your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in, really get a sense that good things are going in through your nose. And as you exhale, anything that's impeding or blocking leaves your body, and then close your eyes on that outward breath. That's it. As you do so, position your body to get more comfortable. And just scan your body for any feelings of anxiety. For some people, anxiety could be in the chest. Sometimes it's in the gut. As you breathe in, just imagine you're breathing in a feeling of certainty. And there's so many things you could be certain of. You could be certain of your experiences, your competency, every victory, every positive feedback that you've ever had. And as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of certainty, it starts to melt away any feelings of uncertainty. Because that's all anxiety is. Anxiety is just being unsure, uncertain. What if certain things happen? As you breathe in and breathe out, just feel that any of those sensations where anxiety exists for you start to alleviate, start to relax. As you then scan your body for any clues of stress and tension. That might be tension in the jaw, around the neck or your shoulders. And I just want you to create an image in your mind of a helium balloon, perhaps from a child's party. And as you look at that helium balloon floating, I want you to imagine what it would be like for your head to be as light as that helium balloon. No need for any tension around your neck or your shoulders. Almost feeling like your head is just floating there on top of your body. As you breathe in, just breathe in deeper than you normally would. And as you exhale, just imagine there is a candle far away that you're attempting to blow out with a long, forceful outward breath. That's it. And as you really attempt to blow out that candle far away, you create a vacuum there in your diaphragm. So on the next inward breath in, you take a deeper breath than you normally would. And as you breathe deeper in and exhale deeper out, you're able to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. Because those slow diaphragmatic breaths activate that part of your mind which enables you to relax. And I want you to think back to a time when you were so relaxed. Maybe on holiday. Maybe you were in a spa. Maybe you were just relaxing at the end of a long day. And feel how good it feels to just remember how good it feels to relax. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And sometimes we think about time in strange and interesting ways. You can think of a childhood memory as if it was yesterday. But you can also think about the future and imagine that future in a compelling way where it just feels like that is inevitable for you. So as you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to think about your career. And I want you to imagine where you'll be in about 6 months' time. You know your competency, you know your skills, and imagine that this is the right environment for you to utilize your skills to create value, to have an impact. And in doing so, picture yourself 6 months from now, having had wonderful feedback. Perhaps the people that recruited you give you the feedback that you exceeded their expectations. They spent a long time trying to find you and they were very happy when they did. And that even though they had high hopes for you, you've exceeded even their wildest projections for how well you've done. And I want you to see yourself like you're someone else. I want you to see how relaxed you feel in that role, how content you feel. That even those days that you drive to your place of work, imagine observing yourself, perhaps with a big smile, singing along to music, how relaxed you are driving to that workplace, how comfortable you feel when you arrive. Willing to listen to feedback, but noticing that so much of that feedback is positive. And if you can see that future version of you having settled in and done well in that new role, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. I want you to imagine stepping into that future version of you, feeling how relaxed you would feel 6 months into a role where you know you're adding value, you're getting wonderful positive feedback, you feel confident and settled, but also hungry to grow and improve. And when you're in that future version of you, I want you to think back to the first few weeks of that new role and almost smile as you think about how worried you were, how panicked you were, that people might find out that you're not good enough. But 6 months into a role where you've had nothing but wonderful feedback, you can have a wry smile as you think back to how many of those worries were completely unfounded. And I want you to imagine what you would say to that version of you 6 months previous to help reassure that anxious version of you riddled with imposter syndrome, to help reassure them. So I want you to imagine that confident, settled, reassured version of you is going all the way back in time 6 months, seeing that anxious version of you. And when you can see that anxious version of you, but you feel like you're communicating from the future with that sense of certainty that things end up fine, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And you can tell you're anxious because of your facial expressions and body language. Maybe you're breathing shallow. But I want you to get a sense that you're about to project powerful insights, wisdom, and all those resources that you have in the present to that earlier version of you which doesn't know that everything ends up fine. So the first thing I want you to do is to tell yourself that it's going to be okay. Tell yourself it's going to be okay, but give evidence that it's going to be okay. Share some of the strategies that helped you to settle in quickly, maybe asking for help, maybe learning from people that had the answers to questions that you didn't know, but also maybe doing other things, having a positive anticipation for the future. Because if anxiety is anticipating negative outcomes, doesn't it make sense that excitement and enthusiasm, or a sense of deep resolve, is just anticipating that positive things will happen in the future? And some people think that optimism or positive thinking is just that, thinking positive but without having any impact. But I want you to accept the idea that if you're thinking about the future anyway, you may as well think of positive things happening to increase the probability that you feel more resourceful. And by feeling more resourceful, you then are able to do more of those things, creating a powerful self-fulfilling prophecy where more of those positive, desirable things take place. And that could be doing well in your role, or it could be driving on a long journey. And when you think back to those first few weeks, you realize that a lot of those things you were thinking weren't even true. That actually you had all the inner resources and skills required to excel in this new job. And you feel confident in your abilities to tackle any challenges that come your way. You've always known that building relationships comes naturally to you, and you find it easy to connect with your colleagues, superiors, perhaps clients, establishing strong and positive connections. And also that you can trust in your ability to seek advice and support when needed, knowing that reaching out to others is a sign of strength and resourcefulness. And notice how quickly your appetite returns to normal as you settle into your new role and you find joy in nourishing your body with the fuel it needs to perform at its best. In fact, you could imagine the future you having a nutritious, delicious meal with that younger version of you 6 months previously. Imagine perhaps you're at a restaurant sharing a meal, picking the brains of that version of you that has already gone through the path that you're traveling. You embrace your new position with ease and enthusiasm, quickly adjusting to the demands and responsibilities that come with it. And when you think back on your past, you accept that you have a track record of thriving in new environments, and this new job is no exception. So you confidently embrace the unknown and start to exceed expectations. You approach challenges with a sense of empowerment, knowing that you have the inner resources to handle any obstacles that may arise. Your overall mantra is that things will be fine. I've got this, I can handle this. And any biological symptoms of anxiety are recognized as natural and temporary. They're temporary responses to stepping outside of your comfort zone, and you trust in your ability to cope and adapt because you have the resilience and determination to overcome any hurdles, and you view setbacks as valuable learning experiences. I want you to think back to a time when you were at your absolute best. See that version of you with the glowing yellow circle, a circle of confidence under your feet. Imagine stepping into that earlier version of you where you are supremely confident, feeling that confidence rise up from your feet all the way up to the top of your head. And imagine taking that feeling of confidence into this new role as you radiate a sense of confidence and competence, leaving a positive impression on those around you. Your self-assurance and positive mindset actually ends up inspiring others, making you a valuable asset to your team. But that said, this is a new environment and there are things that are necessary to learn. And you are open to learning and growing in your new role, knowing that each experience contributes to your personal and professional development. Your self-belief from this point onwards is unwavering, and you maintain a strong sense of inner certainty, even in uncertain situations. Some people give the advice of fake it till you make it. But a better way of thinking about it is that you simply believe it until you achieve it. That you can believe that things will be well and fine in this new role until they are fine and well in this new role. And if you're willing to unlock a deep belief system that you will do well in this new role, that you will overcome the challenges, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And you feel a deep sense of gratitude for this opportunity. In the same way they were looking for you, perhaps you were looking for this role. So you feel grateful for this synergy that exists and approach each day with enthusiasm and excitement. Your ability to adapt and thrive in your new job is a reflection of your resilience and determination to succeed. When the going gets tough, you actually become more resourceful. So you confidently express your ideas and opinions, knowing that your unique perspective actually adds value to the team. Your communication skills are impeccable. You are professional, allowing you to effectively convey your thoughts and collaborate with others. There is a reason you're in this new role. Perhaps it provides greater opportunities, new challenges. You chose this, and therefore it's because you deserve this. There is no element here of being found out, because the only thing that they will find out is that you are a great fit for this role. So embrace those change and challenges, viewing it as an opportunity for growth and progress that not just helps you now, but will help you at all points in the future. This becomes the new way that you think about any new challenges, anything outside of your comfort zone, is that you will have the mindset that things will go well, and any feedback that things aren't going well is simply an opportunity to learn quickly and to adapt. And you already know this, but with each passing day, your confidence and sense of belonging in your new job continue to grow, and you know that you're on the path to achieving great success and fulfillment. And just imagine being in your body as the days turn into weeks, the weeks turn into months, until it's 6 months that's gone so quickly, and you feel how confident and settled you feel in that new role. As both these parts now become one, you acknowledge that you have the skills and competency to do well, not just in work, but in all aspects of your life. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. As you feel like you're returning to the present, just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connecting with being in this moment right now, fully mindful. As I'm about to count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling enthusiastic, optimistic, filled with a sense of self-belief that things will be fine. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.